Jessica.
You're wearing my favorite color.
I did it intentionally. I know you love teal, so.
I love it.
Thank you. And I love
How
yours
are
as
you?
well. I'm good. How about you?
Doing pretty good. Now, we're actually not geographically that far apart right now, maybe about an hour or so. But so yeah, we're lucky to have the Florida sunshine. I know many people are not as lucky to have good weather, at least while all this is going on.
Yeah, that is for sure. We're so fortunate.
Yeah. Got to count all of our blessings where we have them. So, well, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. So I would love for you to share a little bit about Rent My Wedding and how it got started and what you guys do.
Definitely. So Rent My Wedding is a nationwide online rental company. So the way it works is that you order on the website and then we deliver everything right to your door. After the wedding, you just pack everything back up, put it in the same box, and send it back. And shipping is free both ways nationwide. And the other great thing is that we have the lowest prices around. So you can save hundreds or even thousands of dollars by using Rent My Wedding. And some of the things that we rent include backdrops, canopies, chair covers, chandeliers, and all kinds of wedding lighting. So things like up lighting, monogram lighting, cake lights, string lights, all kinds of lighting. So you can check everything out on our website, which is rentmywedding.com.
Yeah, it's so awesome. You guys have such a great assortment of products. Make it really easy for couples who are, DIYing a lot of aspects of their day. And then, of course, the situation we're in right now, like we can't really go out and go pick things out in person. So this is a great option for couples who are wanting to, have a last minute wedding at home or, take advantage of, still getting married on the original date you planned for, even if you can't have that bigger celebration that you had in mind. So what you guys have available is super relevant to couples at any point, but especially right now, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I love that it's kind of taking on a whole new life where it used to be, just a great way to save money, but now it's also a way that you can get married at home if it comes to it. And, we give you everything you need to kind of transform your house to look just like a wedding venue.
Yeah, I love that. And I also love, like everybody who I've done an Instagram live with thus far has been like a female founder. So I think it's so cool to see what you've been able to do with your business and just creating a really great resource to help couples who need access to these products, and especially at an affordable price. It's something that like is so important to me and things to share with our audience at the Budget Savvy Bride. So, oh, we have a question here from Tina. She says, how long do you have to return the items after the wedding?
Oh, good question. So you get the rentals for 5 days. So we deliver them 2 days before the wedding, and then you'll return everything back. It's usually the Monday after the wedding. So you just need to put it in the box and then either drop it at FedEx or they'll even come to your house and come pick it up from you.
That's so awesome. I love just how convenient it is, and how like low effort it is. That was a great question. Thank you, Tina. You guys feel free to submit questions in the comment box and we will address them as they come up. So let's talk a little bit about, at-home weddings. Like kind of what are the things that couples are going to need to pull off an at-home wedding right now?
Yeah, I think I was so excited when you asked me about that last week because, it's something that we're hearing about all these couples wanting to get married now. They don't want to wait. And it totally makes sense. But I think it's super important to make sure that even if you get married virtually, you want it to look special and feel special, right? You don't want to give that part up. So the really interesting thing is that with the right decorations, you can actually make any room look just like a wedding venue. So I think it's all about, wanting to make it special. And with just a couple of things, you can totally transform your basement or your garage, your living room, your backyard, whatever it may be. So just taking that extra little bit of time to kind of be thoughtful about it, I think can make such a huge difference when you're doing a virtual wedding or a home wedding.
Yeah, for sure. It doesn't really take a whole lot. And I think one of the biggest things that couples are looking for when they're considering getting married at home is like a nice backdrop, right? So like what sort of options do you suggest for like an at-home wedding in terms of like a backdrop?
Yeah, I think for backdrops, there's kind of two ways you can go. So, um, lighting is always an amazing way to make your any room just look like you're at a wedding. Because if you go on Pinterest, if you're seeing those beautiful wedding photos, they always have lighting. It's that glow of color that's kind of giving the whole room that effect. So you can do that as kind of a backdrop in your living room. So let's say you're doing a virtual wedding and you've got your video camera pointed at your living room couch. Just throw some up lights behind the couch, and suddenly you've got this vibrant color. It's going to look just beautiful. And if you really want to dress it up even more, you could put a monogram light with it. So now kind of your backdrop is colorful lights, and you've got your names in lights as well, which just really creates a focal point and kind of gives that wow factor.
I really love that. It's always really struck me how much, like you said, lighting can make a difference in transforming a space, no matter what the space might be. So I love the use of lighting, especially for something like this. And you mentioned like a custom, like your names or your monogram. So like, how does a couple actually make that happen?
Yeah, so that's a good question. People usually see it in a picture, but they have no idea how to actually make that happen. And the really cool thing is you can actually do your own monogram lighting. You don't necessarily need to hire a lighting company or DJ to do it. You can do it yourself, and it's super easy. The way that it works with us is that we take care of all the details. So you can either choose a design from our catalog, or you can just tell us what you like, send us a picture of your invitation, and we can make something that fits your personal taste and your wedding style. And once we create that design online with you, we email it to you so you can see what it looks like. And then you just rent the monogram lighting kit. And what you receive is this nice little briefcase, and there's a little projector inside. And all you do is just plug it in. So set it on a table, plug it in, and then aim it at the wall or maybe down on the floor if you want to have kind of a dance floor effect, and you're going to see your name in lights. And it's as simple as that. It's literally, if you can plug in a cord, you can do monogram lighting.
It couldn't be easier. That's amazing. I really love custom details like that too. I think it really elevates the entire look of your wedding. Having that really, personalized, customized detail is something that really like makes it look more luxe, I would say. And it's not very expensive to make it happen. So it's a great way to get high-end style on a budget.
Definitely, I agree. Yeah, I think that's kind of
Kicked
been
my
my
tripod.
goal. What's that?
I said it kicked my tripod. Sorry about that.
Oh no. So yeah, and you're exactly right. I think what I was doing when I started the company is, in my head, I was planning $1 million wedding when I looked at all the pictures and thought about what I wanted, and then I actually sat down and figured out what that was going to cost. There was no way that was all fitting my budget. So, I'm one of those people where I'm going to make it happen no matter what. So I just went out and tried to figure out how can, regular couples just get all these cool details. So how can we get uplighting? How can we have our monogram lights on the wall? How can we do pipe and drape? So kind of just wanting to figure out how can you get this really beautiful high-end wedding look, but for a fraction of the price.
Yes, I think that's so important, and something so many brides and grooms can relate to, I'm sure. You go on Pinterest and you plan this like picture perfect day in your head, and then you start realizing how much everything costs. And you're like, oh, maybe you're going to have to cut some things from this list. So I really love, highlighting resources like Rent My Wedding that allow couples to get that, more luxurious style at a more affordable price point. So I think what you guys do is so amazing. So other than like the backdrop, obviously, if you're going to have a at-home wedding, if you're going to maybe stream it to your friends and family, you can use platforms like Facebook Live, or you can create a private Facebook group and go live within the group if you want to make it really easy on yourself. Or you can use a platform like Zoom, obviously, and use, products from Rent My Wedding to really make your backdrop and, your setting, whatever it might be at your home, look even better. So I love that. And then there was a new kind of offering that you guys had that you wanted to kind of introduce, I think, to help couples who are planning an at-home wedding. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm really excited about our new package because I think what we're seeing is going to be a big trend for the next year or so is, of course, right now people are doing virtual weddings, and I think that there's going to be a component of that at least for a year ahead. You know, people are going to be having smaller weddings and maybe live streaming it to their extended friends and family who can't travel or who maybe are avoiding the large groups. So I think there's going to be a lot of this kind of going on where people are having kind of non-traditional weddings. And the other thing, I know a lot of couples out there have had to postpone or reschedule, and you know, maybe your venue doesn't even have a new date available for 6 months or a year, and it's tough to wait that long. So what we're doing is trying to find kind of a solution to help all these couples out who either need somewhere else to hold their wedding, or you want to get married now and at least do something before you know you have your venue available in a year from now. So the idea is a home wedding, and the amazing part is that you can still have just as beautiful of a wedding at your house as you could if you went and spent tons of money on a wedding venue. And the secret is just having the right decorations. That's what makes all the difference. And I'll tell you, I've actually transformed my brother's garage into
Oh,
a venue. And when people see the pictures now, we have them on our website. No one realizes that was a garage. They think it was someone's wedding at a banquet hall. So I just think it's really cool how you can transform anywhere in your house. You can make it look and feel just like a real wedding. And the best part is you save so much money because you're
yes.
not spending on the venue. Your food and drink is a lot cheaper when you can do it yourself. You can bring in your own music. You don't necessarily need a DJ. So I think there's a ton of ways that home weddings can be used, whether it's to go virtual or even just to save money.
Right. And, you know, I think a lot of couples who are choosing to get married right now and like doing something small at home or virtual, whatever the case might be, still do maybe plan to have the bigger party with their, you know, larger guest list that they had originally intended to have just at a later date. And that's totally fine. Like, I think there's, you know, a ton of couples who just want to get married on that original date that they had set. And this gives them a really great option to do it, but have it also still look really nice and not feel like, oh, yeah, we just like, went to the courthouse or we just like, you know, made it legal. It can still be really special and you can do it at home on a budget. So I think it's just great, like what you guys are doing. So um, there was a question I was going to ask, and it was about so you mentioned your brother, your brother's wedding was in a garage. So what did it take to transform that garage into that like beautiful wedding venue that's on your website?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So that kind of formed the basis for our whole new package we're doing. So, um, and I should say the way it works, if you're planning to do your wedding at home, you can tell us, just pick on the package. If you're having it in your garage, your basement, your living room, your backyard, you just pick that on the package and we'll send you the decorations that you need for that particular area of your house.
Oh, that's so
So
great. It's so easy.
yeah, we make it simple. So if you're going with the garage, like we did for my brother, and I should say he did have a venue for his the reception, but what he wanted to do is have the rehearsal dinner be an extension of the wedding day and make it look like a wedding. He wanted to go all out, but he didn't want to pay for a venue for 2 nights in a row. So
Understandable.
yeah, so what we did for a garage wedding, kind of the recipe for decorations there are draping for the walls, uplighting,
Mhm.
and monogram light. So for those of you who don't know, pipe and drape is kind of a way that you can hide the walls of your venue. So it's perfect if you're doing this at home because it doesn't matter if your garage is full of stuff hanging on the walls. My brother had shovels and rakes and all kinds of stuff hanging on every inch of the walls in that garage, and he didn't know what we were going to do. So it was like magic. We just put up the drapes. They went up in front of everything on the walls, And when you step inside, it looks like you're just in a small banquet hall because the walls are white and elegant and beautiful. So it really completely transformed it. So the draping hides the walls, and then we added some uplights, which you can set to any color. You can pick your wedding colors. So we had blue uplighting, and it just added that little extra something to really color to the room, create an ambiance. And then the finishing touch was the monogram light. So we put their names and this beautiful border together, and that was projected onto one of the walls of the garage. And I'm telling you, when people walked into that garage, they couldn't believe their eyes. It looked amazing. It was just so beautiful. You know, he spent almost nothing to do. So it was just such a great night, and everyone had fun. As we were sitting there, no one was thinking we're in a garage or thinking about that. We're just laughing. People were dancing. It was just like any other, you know, rehearsal dinner or wedding reception. Didn't matter that we were sitting in the garage.
I love that so much. And I definitely, you know, when I talk about wedding savings tips, when it comes to like the venue, obviously finding like a low cost or no cost venue is a great way to cut your costs significantly in most cases, depending on the scale of your wedding and what sort of things you need to bring in to decorate it and make it, you know, workable for a crowd. But I really do like love how simple it can be to dress up a space like that. The fact that you were in a garage and people couldn't see the rakes and the dirty shovels in the background, and it was all nicely covered up with pipe and drape, I think is so great. And it just goes to show that like you don't really need a lot. And you know, I think right now, especially as so many couples are facing like the situation that we're all in, having to cut down their guest list significantly or just do like a private at home ceremony, to still be able to make it special. You know, like I've already said, you know, it doesn't have to be a lot, but you can still make it special. So I think that's really cool. And now I know that there was another question I wanted to ask you in terms of like you also offer like photo booths as well, right?
Yeah, so that's another fun thing. It's a do-it-yourself photo booth kit. So again, we love easy packaging. This one also comes in a briefcase. So you just open it up, and it's all ready to go. Attach the monitor to a tripod that we send you, and you just hit a button and the whole thing will start. It runs itself, and you don't need an attendant, which is really great. So you just set it up in the venue.
Cool.
Doing that. And yeah, it'll say tap screen to start. So guests will tap the screen, it gives them down, they take their pictures, and then it does, you know, 3-photo strip, and you can either do it digitally, get it by email or text, or you can print out a hard copy.
That's so cool. That could be fun to do with just you and your partner, have your own little photo booth at home. But yeah, that's really cool. Was there any other tips that you have for couples who are considering doing something at home? Anything you would recommend or suggest in terms of decor beyond like a backdrop and the lighting, I guess?
I think you can do, especially since we're getting into the nicer weather in most of the country now, is, think about an outdoor wedding in your backyard. So that can be really beautiful as well. There, you don't need as many decorations. You can just rely outdoors. Perfect for Earth Day, right? That can be a really amazing way to have a special wedding. And some ways you can do it would be, we actually rent something that's called a ceremony arch. Simple, but it just gives you, it's like a white linen arch. And it just adds that little extra to make it feel like it's not just your backyard. This is your wedding, and it's an outdoor ceremony venue. And it's perfect for pictures because then you've got that perfect photo you can take and stick in your wedding album. So ceremony arch is a really great way to make your backyard look like a real wedding. And for the reception part outdoors, string lights are always my go-to. And we rent those. If you don't have string lights, it's really easy to just get those, put them up, and that is just instantly kind of transforms you to like a destination wedding or a really nice outdoor space, and string lights, and you've completely, had a makeover of your backyard.
That's so great. So you have so many different options here, basically. You can transform your garage. You can do it in your living room in front of your fireplace if you want to. You can do it in your backyard. So you can still kind of get the different vibes depending on what type of wedding you were originally hoping to have. Like you said, being outside in the great outdoors might help it feel a little bit more like the destination wedding you were planning for, or doing pipe and drape in your garage. You can transform that very raw space into something more elevated, like, a hotel banquet hall or something like that. Like it's really amazing, like what you can do with so little, really, in the end.
Yeah, definitely. And what I always think about is, if you're going to a venue, at the end of the day, that's just a room too. It's all how they decorated and how they made it look. So keep that in mind. It's not finding necessarily the venue that's perfect. You can make anything into the wedding day for you.
Yeah, I love that. I just love what you guys do so much, and I love all your products, and I think it makes things so simple and easy and savvy for couples who want to have like a beautiful wedding on a budget. And you had a special offer, right, to share with followers of the Budget Savvy Bride. Should I share that, or do you want to? You can use code Budget Savvy to save 20% on your order from Rent My Wedding. So you can get that beautiful backdrop and uplighting and all those sorts of different options at a discount. So use code Budget Savvy when you visit rentmywedding.com. And yeah, I think it's such a great resource. Even without the discount, what you guys do is so affordably priced compared to other things that I've seen in the market. And so I just, I love supporting and sharing resources that help couples make things beautiful for less. Oh, somebody says, love string lights. I'm scrolling back up to see if I missed anything along the way. I know Tina had left another comment about thanks for answering her question. This provides some peace of mind for brides who may be at risk to cancel or postpone their weddings this year. Oh, that was another thing that I think you should share about, is how flexible you guys are with changing dates and things like that. I think that's important for people to know as well.
So we've always had very flexible policies, which especially now, of course, is helpful, I think. So when you rent with us, you just pay 25% down to hold your reservation, and the balance can be paid anytime after shipping. And the nice thing too is if your plans change, so of course, with the current climate, what's going on, we always do full. If you need to cancel, if your plans change, we'll give you a full refund. There's no deposit that we hold, nothing like that. So you can always cancel anytime, and you'll get that refund for your order.
I think that's so amazing that you guys offer that, because like it was said, it's such a peace of mind for couples who are feeling a little bit kind of like nervous and up in the air about, maybe they've postponed their wedding once already from the spring into the fall, and then, not really knowing how things are going to develop, might end up having to postpone again. So having that flexibility and the ability to get a full refund if your plans change is a huge selling point of working with Rent My Wedding. So I love it. It's awesome and so savvy. Well, if there isn't any more questions, Marie, is there anything else you want to share with everybody before we go?
I think you covered everything. So I hope everyone can check out our home wedding kit. So it's a great way to make any room in your house look like a real wedding and feel like a real wedding. And we're always here to help. So if you have, just questions, if you want to know how many uplights do I need for this size room, or maybe you want to know how much pipe and drape you need, or how many string lights, we love to help. So even if you just have a question, feel free to reach out, and our team loves to help you plan and estimate, and we'll help you out with anything you need.
Awesome. Yeah, it's such a great resource, honestly. And to be able to get that kind of like personalized feedback and assistance and picking out the items that you need is huge. So I love that. Takes out all the guesswork. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Marie. It's always fun talking to you. I wish that we could get together for a happy hour drink right now. I think the audio dropped out again. But anyway, okay. Well, thanks again for being here. We'll say bye for now, but everybody stay safe and healthy, and we'll see you next time. All right. Bye.